Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and yes, I'm back with a brand new video. All right, so this one's going to be a little bit different. I've done this once in the past. I've actually had people ask me to do this video many times over the years after doing my 31 Days of Horror, and I did it once. And I thought, you know what? I got a little bit of time, and so I kind of threw this list together last night while I was watching some of my Halloween horror films, and I was like, you know what? Why not just do it? So this is going to be my top 10 favorite watches from my 31 Days of Horror Volume 7 series. So, yes, like I said before, this year's 31 Days of Horror was mostly focused on first-time watches. I did rewatch a couple films. One I just really wanted to watch, which is actually on this list, and another one I'd seen before, but I hadn't seen the cut of the film, which actually is another film that made this list also. Without further ado, I mean, it's mostly first-time watches, and that's, yeah, you know, you got to cheat a little bit, right? But yeah, you know, got my coffee going here. Yummy. Still early in the morning. And yes, without further ado, let's get right into this here. I'm just going to put this over here so I don't spill this, but all right. So coming in at number 10 is a film from 2004, and this was actually a huge surprise to me. It's called The Halfway House. Of course, all these films I've reviewed, so I'm not going to get into depth about these, but I'm just going to kind of showcase this. Be a quick little video from Severn's Intervision sister label or sub label. So this one right here is basically the short and long. If you didn't watch the review, it's kind of like a nunsploitation mixed with a Lovecraft film. Very fun. Again, when Severn first announced this on the Intervision label, I had no idea what the hell this was. I guess I missed this one back in the day. I have no idea. But yeah, to my surprise, it's like everything that I like in films. I like exploitation films. I like, you know, Lovecraftian films, and it just came together. It was really fun. So in at number 10 here, we got The Halfway House. Definitely a very fun watch. All right, so coming at number 9 is a film from Portugal. Yes, a Portuguese film produced by Troma and distributed by Troma. Again, when I did my review, I was like, oh yeah, of course, Troma. This movie is so much fun, and the production value on this is very high, actually, because I explained in my review that the Portuguese government actually helped fund this movie, so they had a lot more cash to deal with, hence why the movie looks so good, and just the production value is very high. So it's basically a, you know, post-apocalyptic type zombie type film. Lots of shit going on. Some really unique and oddball things happen in the second half of the film. It's pretty crazy, but so much damn fun. Lots of great kills, and highly recommend Mutant Blast if you like these kind of like really wonky zombie films with like, watch the review if you want to know more about it. But Mutant Blast, definitely a fun ass film, and yes, it is subtitled, by the way. I always forget to say those things because people ask me sometimes if the region 1 or 2 are subtitled. Yes, that one is in Portuguese. So, all right, so coming at number 8, we have the new one from Brian Pollin, and that is Septic. Of course, I think I've reviewed a Brian Pollin film like every single 31 Days of Horror, but yeah, so this is his new one from 2022. Just a sick and vile, disgusting and twisted premise. Really, you would expect nothing less from Brian Pollin. The guy completely, you know, that's what he does. He's a gore master. He's a splatter master, you know, and it's what you're going to get. It's not his best film, I would go out and say that, but it's definitely super entertaining if you like this. Like, the premise of this is just nasty. It really is pretty vile, dealing with kind of like the dark web and shit like that. But yeah, it's, you know, it's got all the goods. It delivers on the gore. And just the vileness of this is nasty. There's some parts in here I'm just like, I can't even explain why they're even there or why you would even think of doing shit like that. But yeah, Septic is, it delivers on the nastiness. So yeah, Septic, number 8. All right, so coming at number 7 is a film from Indonesia. Another subtitled film, the director of Impedagore, and of course the remake of Satan's Slaves, which I did mention that he's putting out a sequel to Satan's Slaves, which is crazy, which is The Forbidden Door, a film that, I'd never obviously seen before, so it was the first time watch. Very interesting character study. It's a head trip. This one goes into a very interesting place and stuff. It's like a slow burn, but it's interesting the entire film. For a film that runs just under 2 hours, it keeps you intrigued because you are constantly questioning what exactly is going on in this film. It's about this artist that starts getting these weird messages that someone needs help and shit like that, and he's dealing with a lot of personal things, in his marriage and his personal life, and dealing with his fame and stuff. It's an interesting film. I really highly enjoyed this one. From Severin. Great release from Severin. This one came out 2009. 2009 this one was. So highly recommend The Forbidden Door. Very intriguing film. All right, so that was number 9. What was that, number 6? All right, so coming at number 5. There's nothing really to look at here, but it's from the All Haunts BR's box set. Oh yeah, here we go. So, A Lake of the Dead from 1958, I believe. This is a Norwegian film. First time watch, of course. Very, very cool and atmospheric type mystery film about not teens that go to a cabin. They're actually middle-aged people, maybe even older. And there's a folklore legend there, and they start to investigate it and stuff. And it's just a very atmospheric film. It's amazing how much atmosphere they really captured in the film. It being basically shot during the day. Most of the scenes are during the day. It's really interesting. It's just got very daunting dialogue and stuff, and the mystery is pretty cool. And I really like where it goes and stuff. There's a lot of really cool elements here. I think I mentioned it's got this, what we would know to be the Evil Dead. It has kind of these elements of the Evil Dead in it, which is very interesting to myself, which I kind of caught on to. But so highly recommend that film. Again, subtitled. So in at number 5. No, that was number 6. 5. Yeah, so number 5 is this is a German film actually, starring the one and only Christopher Lee in the torture chamber of Dr. Sadism. Again, from Severin. Severin seemed to kill my top 10 list this year of films, so it's just ridiculous. I didn't even really realize how many films I had actually reviewed from Severin this year, but I guess this is the way it kind of goes down. This is the film I'd seen before, but I had never seen this cut of this film, I believe. So just a truly masterful, visionary film. There's so much cool eye candy in this film, just based on color schemes and aesthetic of the movie, and just kind of carnage and very cool sets and stuff like that. It's an awesome film. It's very sadistic, like the title says. It's pretty cool. But Christopher Lee delivers the goods in this one, as you would expect him to. It's very, very influenced from Italian cinema. So The Torture Chamber, Dr. Sadism, awesome film, loved it. In at number 5. In at number 4, another Severin release, and this one starring my girl Natasha Lyonne, and it's called All About Evil. This one right here from 2010. I did not know about this film. I had no idea. I remember when I've mentioned this a couple times before, but when Severin first announced this film, I thought it was older. Like the artwork here, I just thought it was older. I didn't realize who was in it, or else I would have realized that it was not an old 70s film. But yeah, All About Evil, man, is basically about her character that she inherits this cinema from her father who's just passed away, and something happens, and then she starts to pay the bills by making snuff films in the cinema and selling them off as real films and stuff. And it's a very sadistic film, but I love the setting. It's all set in a cinema to deal with films, and it kind of goes crazy. There's a nice little shout out to demons in there, like Greta thing. But yeah, really fun film, and I'm actually quite surprised more people aren't talking about this one, because I know I always hear people talk about how much they love films that are set in cinemas and stuff, and this is a good one. Great release from Severin, by the way, too. It actually comes with the CD soundtrack, which is pretty cool because the soundtrack's awesome. But yeah, Natasha, she kills this movie, man. She's really, really good. So, and at number 4. And at number 3 was the one I did cheat with. I had seen this movie before, and I was just kind of in the mood to watch something goofy, silly, but really damn fun. Very respectable production value film. I'm getting some coffee here. And that is 1976, The Oily Maniac. Now, I kind of figured that a lot of people weren't going to check out this review. They're going to see the title and be like, fuck that. And it was true. It didn't really get that many views, but I really wanted to get the word out on this film because I've never really heard a lot of people talk about this one. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a review on this. I'm sure there is reviews on YouTube. Of course there is. But yeah, The Oily Maniac is a Shaw Brothers production, which is like Troma before Troma was doing The Toxic Avenger. Like I said in my review, it's kind of a mix between The Toxic Avenger and like Joe Spinell from Maniac. It's kind of like, it just has all these elements. It's a very rapey film. And just ridiculousness, man. Ridiculousness about this guy that, gets this spell to turn him into this oily maniac, and he can like shapeshift, and he's literally a big oil slick. He looks like a big piece of shit. It's hilarious. This is so much fun. It is ridiculous. There's so many fun scenes in this film of just carnage and... Sorry, man, my allergies are just going fucking batshit today. But yeah, highly recommend this. If you're a fan of Shaw Brothers, which you're going to get all that production in here. If you're like, this movie has so many familiar faces. It's got Ping Chen, Lily Lee in it. Danny Lee plays the Oily Maniac. The list goes on and on and on. There's so many familiar faces. For all you Shaw Brothers fanatics out there, I'm sure you've seen this before, but if you haven't, you got to check it out. I mean, Danny Lee as a freaking oil slick. It's ridiculous. Hella fun film. I can't stress this enough. You got to check this out. It's just, it's something you got to see it to believe it. You just got to. So, Oily Maniac, number 3. Now, coming in at number 2 is a film that, again, I said that, it was one of the films from this box set, that I didn't know about. And to my amazement, man, it was starring, Elizabeth Taylor, and it's an Italian film called Identica. This is truly a masterpiece, man. This is a really crazy film. Like, the core narrative of this movie is just batshit. It's like this character study of this, Elizabeth Taylor plays this middle-aged woman that's kind of losing her shit, and she basically takes a trip to go meet somebody, but she's not sure who she needs to go meet and stuff, and it kind of spirals out of control from there. And the structure of the film is really interesting on how they did it and stuff, and how they tell the story is very intriguing. But I can't stress this enough. Like, Elizabeth Taylor just knocks this performance out the park, and I really like where this goes. It's very dark. It's just unique. It's very unique. You don't see a lot of movies like this, and it's very, very interesting. Like, yeah. So. I explain a lot more in the review, obviously, but I highly recommend Identica from Severin again. Again, Severin was all over my my top watches from the 31 Days of Horror this year. So coming at number 1 is probably no surprise how much I was raving and laughing while I was doing this review and shit, because this movie is just batshit. And that's Matt Jessel's Necrophiles, I believe, from 1997. Finally got a chance to see this movie. Like I said before, I mean, I could have picked up that out of print Blu-ray so many times, or DVD so many times, but I was like, fuck it. And then, of course, Visual Vengeance comes out of nowhere with a Blu-ray release of the Necrophiles. Ridiculous. So this one is about this insane serial rapist, necrophilia dude that gets executed, gets brought back to life and stuff. And this one has so many insane gore scenes in it, and it's got a flying fetus and a flying fetus demon, and just, it's sleazy, it's gory, it's ridiculous. It's got the most insane cop of all time. It's got a couple doofus occult members. It's just so much damn fun. I mean, shot on video madness. If you're into that shit, this is definitely up your alley, because it's going to be worth your time. It even comes with the third one as a special feature on here. I've never seen the second one. I do need to get my hands. Hopefully that actually gets released. That would be super cool if it actually got a nice release. Yeah, this one is absolutely fucking bananas. And I am such a big fan of shot on video, especially when they're done properly. And it's just like, it's got something for everybody in this, man. The gore hounds, the people that like ridiculous exploitation and trash cinema. It's awesome. And the production on this is actually pretty good. It's better than, it's a later 90s shot on video film, so it doesn't look as bad as like the mid 80 ones. But you know what I mean. But yeah, the Necrophiles, so coming at number number 10. So that is going to conclude my... So we'll just do a quick little recap. The Halfway House, if you guys have already forgot. Mutant Blast, which is a blast. Septic, good shit from Brian Pullen. The Forbidden Door, Lake of the Dead, which is on that one. The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism. All About Evil. I feel like this was like a top 10 Severin list, for Christ's sake. The Oily Maniac, which was my cheat one. Identica with the beautiful Elizabeth Taylor. She was around exactly my age when she did that movie, I think. And the Necrophiles, which is batshit. All right, guys, so that's going to conclude this video. Hope you enjoyed. Leave comments down below, and hope you guys had a good Halloween. I just stuck around last night. My kid didn't even want to go trick-or-treating, which was very odd. He's such a strange kid. So I basically spent the entire day focusing on watching films. I think I watched 7 or 8 movies yesterday in a row. Just absolutely batshit, all Halloween-based movies, so it was pretty fun. I never get to do that, so we just kind of took the day off and just said, fuck it. We're just lounging around and enjoying the day. So let me know how your guys' Halloween was. What'd you do for Halloween? Let me know your thoughts on these films. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the next video. Check you guys later, and as usual, deuces!